Hello everyone, this guy's Wolf1, and I'm here with a little something different, and that's my unscripted reactions to the new episode of Samurai Jack. As you may or may not know, depending on how much attention you've been paying to things, Samurai Jack has returned on Adult Swim with a new episode, and this is Season 5, going to be the last season of the show. It's a 10-episode mini-series. And I really like that we're finally getting to see this series end. That we're finally going to get the final climactic ending we've been missing for so long, like years and years long. Originally this was supposed to be a movie, but it kept getting stuck in developmental hell, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, if it hadn't, we would not have this series. And I kind of prefer that they have a series where they can pan out and show everything that they need to, rather than being stuck with a 60, if it's a TV movie, to 2 hours if it's a theoretical movie, to fit all this stuff in. I really like that they got a series out of it. But anyway, on to my thoughts. Well, basically, the setup for this is Jack has been stuck in the future for 50 years, and due to being displaced in time, or maybe some other thing we do not know, he's not aging anymore. So essentially, he's stuck in this immortal battle with Aku and just can't seem to finish it. And I'm going to get into some spoilers here. Actually, I'm going to save the spoilers for the end and give you a warning when I'm about to go into them. But he's basically stuck in the future, trying to still help people as much as he can, but he's clearly worn down because he hasn't gotten back to the past. He's seen hallucinations that are... And this is where you can tell it's kind of taking advantage of the fact it's on Adult Swim now, because some of these visuals are freaky and stuff that Cartoon Network would have never allowed on their series. Because he's seen his father suffering these zombie things, they're all hallucinations, and I like this idea because essentially what it is, Jack can save as many people in the future he wants to. He's still saving people, he's still trying his best to help people, but that's always there, that fact that he failed his kingdom. He failed to save them. Aku basically won that confrontation, even though Jack had him dead to rights. If Jack had had one more moment in that original confrontation hundreds or not thousands of years ago, he would have killed Aku. But he didn't. He got thrown into the future. And everyone probably suffered and eventually died because of that. Now, it's not Jack's fault, mind you, because it's not like, he stopped to give this big dramatic speech and let Aku do it. It's not like he had no intention to kill Aku or spare Aku. Aku just cheated, essentially. But in Jack's mind, that's not what happened. In Jack's mind, he failed. And I like that they're going this route because it's not, oh, I'm saving people, and nothing's changing. No, that's not what's getting to him. What's getting to him is the fact that for every life he saves, he can never replace the ones that he failed to save. And I like that direction of wearing Jack down that way, rather than making him just kind of lose hope to help anyone and feel it doesn't matter, like a lot of these, the superheroes losing their fighting spirit thing goes. I hate that because it's so overused, and they wanted to bit a different route here, and I sincerely respect that. And another thing I respect is they do take advantage of that dark tone, like I said, but they don't do it to a point where it doesn't feel like Samurai Jack anymore. The villain of this episode is this musician Pied Piper, or a robot assassin guy who is a total laugh. He's just hilarious. He's dangerous, mind you, but he's still hilarious. He is still a funny character. He still has that classic Samurai Jack wit to him, that classic fun character design, and I love that because it still feels like Samurai Jack. There's these aliens at the beginning of the episode who are these maybe dog or alien creatures that Jack is saving, and they're cool character designs, but they have this quirky little thing where they can't speak visually, but their antenna can produce these words above their head to convey what they're feeling and saying. That's so clever, and I love it. I love that this series is still clever and still witty and still funny. And here's the big reason why. Here's the big reason why I feel that way. Because so many series say, okay, we're going to pick up an old property for the fans that liked it, that have now grown up, and make it more mature and grow it up with them. And that translates to make it dark and gritty, kill people, generally make it dark and depressing. This feels like they genuinely grew up with the fans. This feels like it genuinely is more mature. And here's why. It deals with more mature subject matter, it deals with more mature themes, but it does not change who Jack is, what the stakes are, what the feelings are, and what the wit is. It does not lose that wit and comedy the original had. And I like that. It still feels like Samurai Jack, even though they're tackling more mature subject matter, having darker themes, and all that. This is how you do that right. This is how you grow up with your audience. You do not lose what made the original good, but you just tackle more mature themes. And I've said this on my DeviantArt and other places a lot, but that's how you do this. That is how you do this sort of thing. You don't make it all dark and depressing and darkness-induced audience apathy, as they call it. You tackle more mature themes and grow and more mature subject matter, but keep what made the original good. And that's what this series does. And I love that. That is the biggest thing that was worrying me about the series, and I'm glad that that my worries were unfounded, and this show actually did keep what made the original great. Another thing I do want to comment on is the Daughters of Aku. Now, you've probably seen this in, the trailers if you've seen them, but there's 7 assassins that were essentially the anti-Jack. Because if you remember back in the original series, Jack, when Aku first escaped after his father defeated him, sealed him away, and then he escaped, Jack was sent all over the world training all his life to return and save his kingdom and defeat Aku once and for all. Essentially, the Daughters of Aku are an evil version of that. They're 7 assassins who were literally raised from birth to kill Jack. They were literally raised from birth to be these deadly assassins that could actually kill Jack. That was their purpose. They're essentially an evil version of what Jack is. And I like that concept for a villain, and I like that they use the time skip to introduce something like that, because that's not something that could have existed in the original series unless Aku actually spent time building it up until Jack appeared. But I do like that concept, and I like that they're given about half this episode devoted to them. That they have half the episode devoted to showing what they've been through, showing how they became what they are. Because I'm going to say this, by the end of this episode, you will most likely be both terrified and sad for them. By the end of this episode, you will feel both bad for them and scared of them. And I like that. I like that they're both tragic characters, but also deadly characters. Intimidating, genuinely intimidating. Another interesting thing is the Daughters of Aku are the cult as a whole. They're like part of this cult that basically worships Aku. And this is another point where I think this darker, more, harsher rated thing works, because that would not have gotten back to censors. You couldn't, a lot of religious stuff was not really well accepted at the time this came out. Overtly religious stuff in cartoons and stuff for kids. But yeah, there were implications of it, like Aku in the first episode basically telling these aliens, hey, yeah, I took a lot of your water. Now, I'll give it back, or I'll help you survive, but you're going to build me statues in my honor. You're going to essentially build idols to me. So Aku's always sort of had this god complex. We're just actually seeing it now. And I like that concept because it both fits Aku and also feels like something that could have been happening in the background the entire time. So I do like that. Alright, now I'm going to go into spoilers here. If you don't want to be spoiled, go watch the show and come back. But here's an interesting thing, and this is something that is both daring, and I actually like it. During the time skip, Jack lost the sword. He lost his katana, the magic katana forged by the gods to kill Aku. He lost it. We don't know the exact circumstances, but it fell into a pit. That's all we know. Now, that's, of course, a risky move because, that's his iconic thing, but here's why I like it. Because this gives Jack the chance to show the audience that sword is just a tool. That sword is a weapon. And a weapon is only as good as the person that wields it. And we've always been shown that Jack has all this weapons training, that there's not really any weapon on the planet he does not know how to use or cannot learn how to use. And he has learned to use guns. Which, some people might complain about that, but I don't, and here's why. When you give Batman a gun, that's out of character. When you give Jack a gun, it's in character, and here's why. Because Jack was raised from birth, or from very young childhood, to be this weapons master, to know all of these different forms of combat, to use all these different weapons. And at one point during Jack's youth where we're shown, he stole an enemy tribe's weapon and used it against them. He mastered it and used it back against them. So it makes perfect sense for Jack to get guns and know how to use them. That fits him. But basically the reason I like this is we get to see Jack use all these different weapons and show that even without his magic sword, he is still a deadly, powerful warrior. He is not slowing down just because he lost his katana. Granted, he can't kill Aku now until he gets it back, and he's going to get it back because both the trailers have spoiled it, and he's going to get it back because the story can't end on a happy note unless he does. He has to get that sword back to defeat Aku. So, no question he's going to get it back, but until then, we're showcased Jack using all these different weapons. During the first fight, he uses a Gatling gun, a pistol, a spear. Then during the fight with the assassin in this episode, who is a blast. I love that character. But during the fight with him, he uses daggers, he uses knives, he uses anything he can get his hands on, and he uses them effectively. And I like that because it showcases that the sword was just a weapon. Jack is still deadly. Jack is still a threat, even without that sword. Granted, I have the theory that Jack will only get the sword back when he gets his fighting spirit back, when he beats his demons. I don't think Jack's going to get his sword back until that point. And then it's going to be a huge he's back moment. He's going to clean house when he gets that thing back. Because the thing is, he's been fighting with everything else he has. He's been fighting without his best weapon. And that means his skills have probably gotten better. So once he does get that thing back, he's going to be even more deadly than he was before he lost it. But I like it because it lets Jack showcase the rest of his skill set, the rest of his power, the rest of what he can do. And I like that. I really do. Another thing I do find interesting is this mysterious figure that Jack keeps seeing. It's like this horseman this shadowy horseman. And we don't know who he is or what he is. Personally, I think he probably represents Jack's mental state at the moment, these problems he's going with, these demons he's fighting. And honestly, it reminded me of that movie, The Fisher King. I'm not sure if you ever heard about it. It had Robin Williams in it. Essentially, the main character of that, one of the main characters, keeps seeing this vision of the Red Knight, this horseman that shows up every time his mental trauma starts to resurface. And it's all in his head, but it's a representation of his mental trauma, of his mental anguish. And that's what this reminds me of. It makes me think of that character from The Fisher King. And that's a good thing because I like that movie. Alright, I'm sure you guys are getting tired of hearing me ramble about the show. Overall, really good first episode. I really did like it. And I found it really cool that it managed to actually live up to that idea of growing up with your audience. Because so many shows claim to do that, then completely drop the ball and just turn into something dark and depressing. Samurai Jack has actually done that, and I'm so happy about that. It's so cool. We finally have a show that lives up to that claim. And overall, it still feels like Samurai Jack. It's still Samurai Jack. I love it. Good first episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed hearing my thoughts about the new Samurai Jack show. If you liked it, like, comment, and subscribe, and click that little notification bell to get my alerts. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. See you guys next time. Bye! I still don't have a catchphrase.